Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. I make no apologies for the content of today's video, by the way. However, fair warning, if you are an aircraft carrier fanboy, you probably want to just smash that dislike button and go away right now. Okay, now they've both gone. Today's video is all about just how much fun it can be playing against aircraft carriers. And when I say fun, I mean no fun whatsoever, except for on those rare occasions when it can actually be quite funny indeed. This first clip featuring Casanova PT in the Swedish Tier 10 anti-aircraft destroyer, the Halland, is actually a repeat. It's a repeat of a clip that I showed in yesterday's episode of Mingles with Jingles, but, well, most of you don't watch Mingles with Jingles, and those of you who do, most of you don't watch it all the way through to the end, so there's a fair chance that even if you did watch yesterday's Mingles with Jingles, which most of you didn't, you still haven't seen this clip. And if you have seen this particular clip, well, don't worry, I'm not showing the whole thing. Don't really need to. And it's all going to be over in a couple of seconds. We're going to skip ahead just 2 or 3 minutes into the battle. In the meantime, let's just quickly check and see what the World of Warships wiki page has to say about the Halland in respect of its anti-aircraft firepower. And it says devastating AA potential, especially when paired up with another ship. Strongest AA capabilities of any destroyer, access to the defensive anti-aircraft fire consumable in a separate slot, so you never have to choose not to take it. Damn son, that all sounds pretty impressive. Ah, right. Well, to be completely fair here, he basically just got one-shotted by the Roosevelt on the enemy team. So that's not really a fair and accurate example of the Halland's AA firepower. Although you could also argue that the fact that he got one-shotted in the first place is another problem, and it is, but it is an entirely separate problem from what. Also, I don't know if you can tell from here, screw it, I'll zoom in, but the enemy carrier is in chat laughing his ass off at the fact that he just one-shotted what is alleged to be an anti-aircraft destroyer. But yes, you do make a fair point, that really wasn't, because he just died too quickly, an accurate representation, or even a fair representation, of what a specialised anti-aircraft destroyer can do to the carriers on, well, not the carriers, but to the aircraft of the carriers on the enemy team. Luckily, as it happens, I have a perfect example. This is Destroyer Mitch, also in a Swedish destroyer, but this time it's the Tier 8, the Öland, or however the hell you pronounce it, I don't know, it's Swedish. It's the hurdy-gurdy-gurdy boat. Unlike the Halland at Tier 10, the Öland at Tier 8 is also known for the effectiveness of its anti-aircraft firepower. In this battle, however, there are 2 aircraft carriers on the enemy team. Something that Destroyer Mitch is going to have ample opportunity to regret. You'd think that given a choice between 3 destroyers, the enemy carriers would prioritise the ones that don't have devastating anti-aircraft firepower. Well, it turns out aircraft carrier players enjoy a challenge just as much as anybody else. In the few brief seconds of peace that Destroyer Mitch is going to enjoy in this battle, well, not exactly enjoy, but you know what I mean, let's once again take a quick look at the World of Warships wiki page and see what they have to say about the Öland. The ship's powerful anti-aircraft defences were provided by semi-automatic, dual-purpose main battery mounts and a large number of automatic anti-aircraft guns. And they weren't joking. A lot like the Halland at Tier 10, it has 4 120mm anti-aircraft guns, 4 single-barreled 40mm Bofors anti-aircraft guns, 7 25mm fully automatic anti-aircraft guns, and a single double-barreled 40mm anti-aircraft gun mount. Like the Halland at Tier 10, it also has access to the defensive fire consumable. The wiki page then goes on to say that the Öland's high continuous anti-aircraft values, as well as access to the defensive anti-aircraft fire consumable with no trade-offs, as in you don't have to pick another consumable instead of this, means that Öland can be a costly target to strike for an aircraft carrier. And that is absolutely true. I mean, he's already shot down 15 aircraft while being struck simultaneously by both the Parseval and the Shokaku on the enemy team at the same time. And they're coming back for more. Unfortunately, he's a little slower than he was before because he sustained flooding damage and his defensive fire consumable is now on cooldown, but, well, he's still well within the AA bubble of the Chapayev, just a couple of 100 metres away. Although he was well inside the AA bubble of the Chapayev just a couple of 100 metres away earlier when he had his defensive fire consumable up, and that didn't really seem to make much difference, did it? He's managed to dodge the Parseval's first set of torpedoes, but the Parseval's coming around for a cross drop despite being hammered continuously by not just his but also the Chapayev's reinforced AA sector. And that is the anti-aircraft gun aiming expert talent activating, which means he's not just in the Tier 8 destroyer with the best anti-aircraft firepower, he's in the Tier 8 destroyer with the best anti-aircraft firepower. And yeah, the Shokaku did drop those torpedoes too early, which gives you some kind of indication of just how good the Shokaku is. But he's also in the Tier 8 destroyer with the best anti-aircraft firepower, and it's commanded by the unique Polish captain, and yes, the Shokaku has dropped his torpedoes too close again. But yes, he has the unique Polish commander, whose name I can't even begin to pronounce, but who, upon shooting down 20 aircraft, rewards you with a talent that increases your continuous anti-aircraft damage by 10%. So he's not just in the best AA destroyer at this tier, he's also in the best AA destroyer. Oh, that was kind of unfortunate. Oh well. The best AA destroyer at this tier, 10% better at shooting down aircraft than it would have been otherwise. And of course, the whole time that he's enjoying the attentions of both of the enemy carriers, he's continually spotted. And like every good World of Warships player should know, no matter what you're doing, most of the time if an enemy destroyer gets spotted, you should stop what you're doing and shoot at that destroyer, and a fair number of the enemy team are doing exactly that. I mean, Destroyer Mitch isn't bad. You saw the way he slowed down in order to fake out the rocket attack from the Shokaku there. He did in fact just dodge, and it worked, but the thing is, he has to get lucky every time. And these two carriers are throwing so much shit at the wall. There's a limit. I mean, he's just earned the AA Defence Expert Medal for getting 35 aircraft shot down. He's actually shot down more than 35. He's shot down 40. No, 43. What good did it do him? Because both the Parseval and the Shokaku were still attacking him with full squadrons. Speaking of which, let's just take a quick look. You can see the Shokaku. That right there is the calibre of aircraft carrier player that just roflstomped all over Destroyer Mitch. The Shokaku is not very good. To be fair, the Parseval is a very good player. The Shokaku, not so much. I mean, he just broadsided himself against an island in plain sight of and in shooting range of half a dozen enemy ships in an aircraft carrier. Now, you might be tempted to say, well, yeah, sure, but if you're getting focused down by two aircraft carriers, you're probably going to die regardless of how good your anti-aircraft firepower is. Yeah, you are. That's the point. You may be further tempted to say, well, yeah, but if you're getting focused down by anything, you're going to die pretty quickly, and that is absolutely true, but if you're getting focused down by anything that isn't an aircraft carrier, you have options. You can run away. You can stop shooting and go undetected. If you're in anything other than a Swedish destroyer, you can pop your smoke screen. You don't have those options when an aircraft carrier is determined to ruin your day. And in response to the first point, the fact that he was getting focused down by two carriers, technically, yes, there were two carriers attacking him, but there was only one carrier hitting him, and it wasn't the Shokaku, so realistically, he was really only being attacked by one carrier. So, I've said it before, because it's absolutely true, and hopefully by now we've established that anti-aircraft firepower, ludicrous though it sounds when you say it out loud like this, is not actually a counter against aircraft in World of Warships. We've just seen the best anti-aircraft destroyers getting one-shotted by aircraft, and we've also seen the best anti-aircraft destroyers shooting down hordes of aircraft and getting an AA Defence Expert medal, and it made no difference whatsoever because aircraft kills are really just a placebo. They're there to make you feel better about getting roflstomped by aircraft carriers. The truth of the matter is that there is no counter to aircraft carriers in World of Warships other than hoping they go for somebody else, and if, like Hako Zakepa here, you accept that and embrace that, you can actually start to have a bit of fun with them. Hako Zakepa, which as far as I can work out means Hako the Hacker in Russian, is in the French Tier 9 premium destroyer, the Mogador. Now, it doesn't have great AA. It certainly doesn't have bad AA, but as we've already established, it doesn't matter how good your AA is, it's not going to protect you from aircraft. It is, however, ludicrously fast. It can achieve top speed with the engine boost in excess of 54 knots. And that, by the way, I have to say it was a masterful dodge. The enemy carrier saw that his engine boost was running, but it didn't anticipate that he was going to slow down, so he successfully managed to avoid every single rocket strike from the enemy carrier, which of course is Tier 10. It's the Japanese Hakuryu. He's in a Tier 9 destroyer in a Tier 10 battle, getting focused by a Tier 10 aircraft carrier. So far he has just dodged, but like with Destroyer Mitch earlier, you have to just dodge every time and, well, sooner or later your luck's going to run out. Something else that you do need to know about Hako here, by the way, he's as mad as a box of frogs. And I'm not just talking about his off-the-cuff and hilarious remarks in chat. I also mean the way he's playing this destroyer. He quite literally could not find a single shit to give. In all honesty, I can't possibly recommend that you try to emulate what it is that you're going to see him doing in this battle, because 9 times out of 10, unless you're extremely good and extremely lucky, you're probably going to die very, very quickly. And in fact, well, no spoilers, just watch. So, he's weathered the first strike from the Hakuryu, and he knows that he's sharing this cap circle with another ship. The Hakuryu's coming back for more, and he's once again spotted from the air, which means that whoever he's sharing this cap circle with has plenty of advance notice that he's coming. The enemy team starts shooting at him. At one point he's been targeted by 5 enemy ships. They're the hilariously badly aimed torpedoes from the Cossack B that he's sharing the cap circle with. He gets his own torpedoes away, the Cossack starts shooting. Hell, everybody starts shooting. But he does manage to take the Cossack out. And he's inside the Cossack's smoke screen, so thank you very much for that. And the fully armed talent has just activated, which means he's using the French legendary commander, and his guns and torpedoes are now reloading 5% faster. Unfortunately, he has been radared, so he can't take advantage of that Cossack smokescreen, which, let's face it, probably wouldn't keep him alive anyway. It looks like the Cossack was only sitting inside a single puff of smoke instead of spreading the smokescreen around, so it wouldn't take a huge amount of luck for anybody on the enemy team to blind fire him and finish him off. Instead, he's using the speed. He gets clipped by the carrier, although he doesn't take a huge amount of damage from it. He does get set on fire. But he won't have to wait too long, because the damage control is back off cooldown. There we go, fire extinguished. Now he is going to get a torpedo hit, which is nice, but more importantly he's managed to cap, and that means the Sparks of Resistance talent is activated, which just means he's now got an extra 1% chance of causing fire with his high explosive shells. Big deal. Once again he's making cracks in chat. Good job, Mogador. Oh, thank you, team. Told you, mad as a box of frogs. Now, you'd think, in fact, it would be true of most people, that after getting butt stomped like that and losing, I don't know, 80% of his health, Hako might decide to just cool his jets for a bit and let things develop and see what he can do from the sidelines. You might think that. You'd be completely wrong. He's spotted from the air again, he's instantly targeted, and then untargeted as somebody realises that they don't actually have a shot at him. Oh wow, did you see that? Fighters actually shot something down. Don't worry, that isn't supposed to happen. I'm sure it's a bug. Just a couple of seconds later, we get to witness the worst Kitakaze anybody has ever seen. And if you think you've seen worse, replay or it didn't happen. Okay, I will gratefully accept the Pepsi challenge against anybody who thinks they've seen a Kitakaze worse than this. He's sitting inside a smokescreen. He's obviously spotted. I don't know if he's radared, hydroed, or just proximity detected by the Kremlin right on top of him. What's he doing? As best as I can tell, nothing. Has he just disconnected? That would certainly explain it. No, he is actually shooting at the Kremlin. I don't know why he's not using his torpedoes. He is actually moving. He's not AFK. Is he turning to get his torpedoes away? Well, he's managed to run himself aground. The only thing this Kitakaze is actually doing is ensuring that Hako can't get his torpedoes away without killing the Kitakaze. The Kitakaze then remembers that he does actually have torpedoes and misses. Did you see that? He missed a Kremlin 100 meters away from him. Well, thankfully he's dead, and his smokescreen is preventing the Kremlin from seeing Hako, and now Hako can get his torpedoes away without risking team killing the Kitakaze, who, let's face it, that wouldn't have been much of a loss. Not that I'm recommending team killing, because he was no use to the team alive. I know, it's too late, it's out there now. That's all the comment section of this video is going to be. Jingles is promoting team killing, you saw it here first, folks. Well, that, and the same Jingles you're full of shit, aircraft carriers are fine comment spammed 30 times by the one aircraft carrier fanboy who didn't take my advice, hit the dislike button and bugger off at the start of the video. Hako, what are you up to now, mate? In this brief moment of time when your team are dropping like flies, you're the only member of the team that's actually managed to sink anything, and just for a few brief moments you're not being spotted from the air by the enemy carrier. Oh, you're reversing into the cap circle. That's jolly good of you. Now you can see what he's thinking here, and it's good. He's thinking, if I keep reversing here, I can stay in the cap circle and get a cheeky shot off against that North Carolina without being detected. Unfortunately, he kind of is detected, because there's a Z-46 between him and the North Carolina. He can't see him, but he's about to see his torpedoes, and the Z-46 is spotting him. I love this from the Smolensk, by the way. There are the torpedoes. Watch this. That's the first set of torpedoes from the Z-46. The Smolensk thinks, haha, missed me with all your torpedoes. Inches forward to give the Z-46 the good news with his 130mm guns, and runs right into the second wave of torpedoes, and only then activates his hydro. Although, to be fair to the Smolensk, it is the hydro that's keeping the Z-46 spotted here. And of course the Z-46 can't see shit, because he's inside a smokescreen, and, well, now he's dead. Now, that little scuffle with the Z-46 does mean that Hako is down to 1,341 health. You might think at this point that he would chill the hell out, calm down, wait to see what he could do to support the team from the sidelines. Well, if you think that, you clearly don't know Hako as well as I do, even though, you know, I don't actually know him at all. I've only watched the replay, but he is, as we've mentioned, as mad as a box of frogs. He keeps testing his luck, taking shots at ships that he thinks don't have time to react, like the Goliath over there. He's probably not going to hit him with the torpedoes. Or can he? See, if he stays on this course, the Goliath's going to see him. French destroyers have pretty bad concealment, 7.5 kilometers in this case. But the Goliath knows that there's a destroyer in this cap circle. Oh, where did he go? You'd expect to be able to see him by now. Oh well, he's probably coming this way, so torpedoes from the one side, in through the channel. He's left the cap circle now. I don't know if that was deliberate, maybe to keep the Goliath guessing, or just because, well, he left the cap circle as he was turning. Oh, and there's the Goliath. Okay. Torpedoes around the other side. The Mogador has 4 sets of torpedo launchers, 2 on each side. And he's keeping his distance. And then his trigger finger starts to get itchy. Now the Goliath is almost on full health. But, if he times it, there it is, he should be able to get one shot away undetected. And hopefully start a fire. Make him use the damage control so he receives full benefit from these torpedoes. Unfortunately not. He's going to eat definitely 1, possibly 2. Yep, only the 1 flood. And yep, he's not using the damage control. And here's where Hako starts pushing his luck again. The Goliath's guns are pointing in the other direction, so he guesses reasonably enough that he can get a couple of salvos away before the Goliath turns the guns around and can start shooting at him. And he's almost right. But the Goliath misses anyway. Well, unfortunately, the Goliath is now good and pissed off. So Hako is now slowed down. He's getting a couple of shots in, while there is no clear line of sight, scores a few more hits, and then he gets the torpedoes away again. Unfortunately, the fun police have struck again. He's been overflown by the Hakuryu, who's dropped some fighters on him, so he is spotted. He hammers the throttle back up to full speed, gets the kill on the Goliath. The Goliath does manage to get some shots away, and very narrowly manages to avoid them, as the Hakuryu comes back to attempt to finish off the job. Fortunately, the Hakuryu is attacking from the rear, and this is a very, very fast destroyer, so it's not that difficult, although it was kind of close for him to avoid the torpedoes. And once again, he's unspotted. There are only 2 enemy ships left, one of which, of course, is the Hakuryu. I'm not quite sure what the other one is. Let's check the map. Oh, a Riga. A radar cruiser. Oh, that's unfortunate. Actually, it couldn't be any worse. He's in a destroyer on 1,341 health, and the last 2 ships on the enemy team are a radar cruiser and an aircraft carrier. And the carrier knows where he was, and he's coming back for more. This time, of course, he's got rocket attack planes. He's determined to do the job properly. The friendly carrier has dropped some fighters on them, but, well, as we all know, if a fighter even dreams of shooting down a strike aircraft, they'd better wake up and apologise. Hako, using the same old trick, even with the engine boost running, he's slowed down. Unfortunately, the Hakuryu is wise to his tricks this time around. And I have no idea why Hako isn't dead. He took a hit, but it seemed to only do about 100 damage. I don't know, maybe it struck the mast and it was only splash damage, but, well, he's not dead yet. And he's closing in on the radar cruiser. Again, and you might actually learn a thing or two from this. He's getting those crafty shots away when he knows the Riga isn't going to be able to do anything about it because the guns are pointing the other way, and by the time he gets the guns turned around, there's an island blocking line of fire. Of course, the problem isn't going to be the Riga, it's going to be the fun police. Fortunately, he's flying in a straight line with his aircraft, and he's running right into the flak that's being put up by the Smolensk. Hako able to grab another aircraft kill there. Not that you actually get rewarded for shooting aircraft down, don't be silly. You must be new here. Now the question here is, which way are the Riga's guns pointing? Because he has been spotted once again from the air, and if the Riga's guns had been pointing this way, Hako would be dead. But the Riga's guns are not pointing this way, so he triggers the gun reload booster, gets his ass into cover as quickly as possible, because hey, he may be as mad as a box of frogs, but that doesn't mean he's stupid. Let's not give the Riga even the hint of a chance. Or at least that's what I thought, but he's going full speed with engine boost around the other side of the island. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Riga's going to be dead before the torpedoes get there. But hey, you never know. In fact, the Riga was dead before the torpedoes got there. That just leaves the enemy carrier. Well, I say just. I mean, he just has 1,000 health, and yeah, the rocket planes are coming in again. But it's not entirely true that anti-aircraft fire is not a counter to aircraft in World of Warships. In certain extremely rare circumstances, it absolutely 100% is. And those extremely rare circumstances are when you're playing an aircraft carrier yourself. Yes, I know it sounds absolutely stupid when I say it out loud, but anti-aircraft destroyers are not a counter to aircraft in World of Warships. Anti-aircraft cruisers are not a counter to aircraft in World of Warships. Anti-aircraft guns on an aircraft carrier are, which is precisely why Hako is hiding behind the skirts of his Hakuryu. Well, I mean, I say carrier's AA fire is effective, and it is. It usually means that the enemy carrier is probably only going to get one strike off in combination with things like the anti-aircraft guns and the combat air patrol and the defensive fire. But when you only have 1,000 health, one strike is usually all it takes. And the enemy carrier did get one strike, and it missed. Whew. He's coming back again with the torpedo planes, but, well, yeah. And there's little chance of them hitting a fast-moving target like a Mogador, but, well, he only has to get lucky once. Oh, shit. Kill it, and game over. So, well, we've seen that it doesn't really matter how good your anti-aircraft firepower is, carriers can just shit on you before you get a chance to bring it into play. We've also seen that even if you do get a chance to bring your AA firepower into play and shoot down hordes of aircraft, it doesn't matter because carriers can shit on you anyway. It seems that the only real solution, other than hoping they go for somebody else, is to simply, like Hacko here, eject all of your shits right at the start of the battle so that you have no shits to give. Embrace the fact that our glorious aircraft carrier overlords can and will shit on whoever they want whenever they want. Believe the spreadsheet when it tells you that you're having fun, and just go for it. It helps if you're as mad as a box of frogs. Your mileage, therefore, may vary. That's it for today, folks. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.